Hi, and welcome to my vlog. My name's Julie, and I'm coming to you from just north of Glasgow in the UK. And my vlog is about sewing, knitting, sometimes patchwork, sometimes crochet. Thanks very much for your company and all the nice comments and those who've subscribed. It's good to have you along for my makes. So today, I don't think it's going to be a very long vlog, partly because I've been away for possibly 10 days. I did a sort of a mini road trip of the UK, visiting family and friends, specifically one of my uncles, well, my only uncle sadly now, who was 90. He didn't have a do as such, he didn't want to fuss, but it was nice to go and visit him on his birthday. And I also went to Derbyshire, Shropshire, Herefordshire, and then down into South Wales. So I had a fabulous time, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But I took lots of sewing and knitting, and I thought I'd have nice little evenings stitching away. But no, too much chat and having a good time, which is fabulous. I did a little bit, and that's what I'm going to show you now, and then an exhibition that I went to, which was marvellous. So, not a long episode today, just a hello and a few items. First of all, what I'm wearing, and I have taken a photograph that I'll add somewhere, here or here, and I've done a little video of outside. So, video of me being outside in the dress. This dress is possibly about 10 years old, and it was when I first started dressmaking after I finished teaching. Didn't have enough time for sewing when I was teaching, and I bought this in a charity shop, which was in Leicester. We were living in Herefordshire at the time, and the fabric was gifted to me by one of my colleagues at the college I taught at, and I think the story was his sister-in-law had a fabric shop. So one day he came in to work with possibly 4 IKEA blue bags of fabric for a colleague friend of mine. And this was one of the pieces I chose. And it's a cotton, it's a really nice weight cotton, and it comes out every summer. I really love it. Now I made the version on the pattern, the sleeveless one, as a summer dress, which I wore and wore. And I did cut that up for something recently because it had just gone faded and whatever, but I loved that version. I've got this version, and I also have a nice peachy pink. It's a pink, I think, which unfortunately is a bit tight at the moment. But one of my really favourite dresses, which comes out every summer. It does have a long zip down the back. And what I end up doing is putting a piece of string through the little zip. There's a little hole at the top of the zip, and then pulling the zip up with this at the back. There is a little hook and eye at the top. I can't manage to do the hook and eye on my own, but if there's nobody in the house to help, I just use this, put it on, and then use that to pull up the zip. Works for me. What else to say? It's nice puffy sleeves. I did think perhaps it's gone a bit old-fashioned, but I put it on now and I feel really nice in it. And we're going to go out later. I put a denim jacket on and it's good to go. When I was away last week, as I said, it was a road trip, so I was driving, and I tried to cut down on the items I took, but then I found I didn't take enough clothes. And especially because the weather was so warm, I could have done with a nice summer dress, which I didn't take. So I'm putting it on today. That's what I'm wearing. I don't think this pattern is still in print, but you could possibly get it on eBay. I did just notice a similar pattern in, oh, I won't put my hand on it now, when I was looking for this. So they are similar, but it's quite fitted here and not too flary in the skirt. No gathers. The gathers are all in the bodice, and it's all fully lined here, and then little puff sleeves. So what I'm wearing. Oh, I will add now a little video as well of me outside. So just say bye for now and then add the video. Hello. 2 finished items. First of all, a baby crochet blanket, which is this one. It's quite small, but I have, I think, finished all the fancy yarn I had. These are just little balls, which I don't think would go around the edge. I could do some kind of edging with them, possibly, if I didn't mind the colours, you know, not going all the way around. But I think that's all of what I call the fancy yarn finished. And it could be a little pram cover, or if the babies are in those little car seat things in the house. So just a little blanket, and I should start the cardigan, which is what I thought I'd be doing while I was visiting my pals. But as I said, too much chat, eating and catching up. So that's one finished item. The other finished item isn't totally finished, but it's the embroidery. The reason the element that isn't finished is that I need to put it in its permanent frame, which is a little bit smaller than the frame I used to do the embroidery. I'm pleased with that. I had done this green, these leaves in a different colour green, but I packed some things to take and I forgot to take embroidery thread. So I spent 2 nights or 3 nights at my mother-in-law's, and she had some embroidery thread that was her mother's, she said. So that's getting on to be quite old now, isn't it? So she gave me this green, and then I was able to do all the leaves in the same colour green. And as I said I can't remember. So I've learned some stitches. I think that was fishbone stitch. And if I did this type of embroidery again, I would have to look up how to do the stitches. So that's the second finished item, but obviously not totally finished because I'd need to put it in a smaller frame and secure the back. But that's, I like that. So now we're on to a work in progress, which again, I was expecting to do some work on. Oh, I did do some, to be fair. And it's this Sashiko panel, which I've got the Sashiko needle there. So I did do some. This shouldn't take too long. So that's the design, a bit creased now. So I've done the middle flowers and one corner of the straight stitch. And so I have to do the other corner and then it'll be done. Now, I bought this one online and I think I've got it here. And the other ones I've bought have had a little bit of direction in order to not keep finishing off your thread and cutting it. But this one is all in Japanese and it didn't have any guidance. So I just tried to work out which was the best way of doing it in order to, you know, get as much out of your thread without finishing it all the time. And I just did my best. I could have spent more time following the pattern through and working out the best way, but I didn't. I just carried on. So I did some of that. So that shouldn't be long to finish and then frame up. So that's my recap for today, really. One of the things I did when I was away, I visited a friend in Herefordshire and we went to an exhibition in Ruthin, which is in Denbighshire in North Wales. She drove because I'd done loads of driving. So, and I said, it's a long way, but no, she said, we'll go. And we went to see Jessie Chorley, a Jessie Chorley embroidery exhibition. And it was wonderful. So if you are in the vicinity of Ruthin, Chester area or nearish, I would really go. It's at Ruthin Art Centre, free exhibition, and it honestly, it's so moving. It's I thought the work was incredible, and I bought this book, which is called The Journal with Thread, and it gives you guidance to make, I think she calls it like a doodling thread book. So I'll show you the stencils. So there's stencils at the back, and I've had a quick look at it. And you get a front page, an inner page, and then I think is spring, summer, autumn, winter, and a back page. So I don't think I'll do it as a journal, but I'll do it as panels. So I'll have however many I make and frame them up. But this is the type of thing. This is winter page. And I think they're absolutely beautiful. And if you know Jessie Chorley's work, she's very much into repurposing old threads and old antique linen, lace, yeah, bits of lace, and dyeing things with vegetable dyes. Honestly, it's such a lovely, lovely exhibition. So I have added something else to my doing list now, but I did so enjoy the embroidery. And I've wanted to go and see this exhibition, and it was really inspirational. It's there until the end of June. I think it might be going elsewhere. She's based in London, but she has connections to North Wales. Her mother, some of you may know, is called Jessie Chorley, and her work is textile based, but more 3D. And we did go to an exhibition of her work 3-4 years ago. Oh, in fact, I have her catalogue there, which perhaps I'll show next week because I can't quite see it on my bookshelf. But her work is more 3D. But again, I found it so moving. So I was very keen to go and see the Jessie Chorley exhibition. And her themes often involve, she always has, or usually has, a chair, a house, a horse, so sort of resonant of home. So what I'm going to add now, well, at the end of me chatting on, is I think it'll last 5 minutes. So if embroidery isn't your thing, you might not want to see it. But some of the footage I took at Ruthin Art Centre of the exhibition. There was a painting exhibition. There's a cafe. Ruthin town is worth a visit. It's quite small, but there's a wonderful knitting shop there. And when we visited, the owner was in the shop knitting or crocheting away, and she sells lots of items that she's made. And a nice gluten-free cafe up on the hill, and really worth a visit. There's a historic jail, I think, which I've never been in, but well worth a visit. And they had a beautiful selection of cards as well, so I bought some nice cards for up and coming birthdays. So I think that's it, and hopefully I'm going to get some more stitching done this week rather than visiting and chatting, and I will hopefully be back to normal next week. So thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoy the footage of the Jessie Chorley exhibition, and like me, try and get some stitching done, and see you again soon. Best wishes, everyone. Take care. Bye.